Sound off in the beginning, we ain't losing, we back to winning. Hometown love, been repping from the start. Nothing but Niners, red and gold in my heart. And we
going on, faithfuls? Nothing but Niners crew is back to discuss a couple of things with you guys about what's going on. Two Spartans did not get the contract extensions, so we are here just to let you guys know about that and give us a couple opinions. So we have Scott in here, we got Ali in here, and Nick. What's going on, Scott? How you doing, man?
I'm good. Very good indeed, guys. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Ali, what about you, bud? How's it going over there?
It's going good, man. Happy Monday, fellas.
That's right. That's right. And Nick, man, what's up? How you doing?
Man, I can't call it, man. This is crazy news coming out right now, man. I can't wait. Can't wait to talk about this, man.
Absolutely. So again, guys, if in case you didn't catch the beginning of that, two Spartans have not got the contract extensions. All right. The deadline is coming past. We already talked a lot about Kirk Cousins, but the other one is Le'Veon Bell. So, guys, what are the thoughts on that? We're going to start back with Nick. I don't think anybody here is surprised that that Cousins didn't get the contract, but man, Le'Veon Bell not getting it either. Give us something, man. What do you think about that?
Yeah, man, that's kind of interesting, especially with all the cap space money that we have. Hyde coming up on a contract year, Bell not signing a long-term deal, man. Is that something we go after in the offseason?
Yeah.
Something to ponder and look forward to, man. It's definitely going to keep us on our toes and make us talk about it. I mean, I would definitely take that Spartan and put him in the backfield behind with a Kyle Shanahan type offense.
Yeah, I want to ask Ali a question too, man. So we get this letter that came out from the Redskins. Who was it who wrote this letter?
Bruce Allen.
Bruce Allen sends this letter out talking about. Now all of a sudden we get specific contract information. We haven't heard this information at all. They waited until 4 o'clock exactly to release this to the public, man. Give us your thoughts on that letter. Kirk Cousins turning down being the second highest paid player in NFL history, and they said it was going to be one that kept him with the average per year as one of the highest paid players also.
Talk about putting your QB starting for you this year on blast. How you going to put him on blast like that, man? That is insane. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, what's the incentive for him just even this year? Like, what's the incentive for him this year? Like, he is as good as gone, in my opinion. In my opinion, he's as good as gone. I don't know why you would release that information. If you are someone that's confident that your QB, this is your guy, and that you are confident going into next offseason that you will re-sign him, you do not release this kind of information. You keep everything bottled up internally. Yeah. What is the Redskins organization thinking? I don't know. I'm blown away. I don't know what. Look at what Pittsburgh did in regards to Le'Veon Bell. Have we heard any leaks out of Pittsburgh about we offered them this or anything? No, because it's a completely different situation. They're more confident that and are on better terms with Bell that they will be able to re-sign him to a long-term deal. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it done for their organization. They couldn't get it done for them, but. To put your starting QB like this on blast, it's amazing. It's something, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. Scott, man. So all the numbers come out, and it really makes Kirk Cousins look greedy. It makes it look like the Redskins really tried. And they even dated it. They put out the exact date of May 2nd, right after the draft. So I think it turns the public against Kirk Cousins a little bit. Not even so much the public as much as the Redskin fans. The fans were going crazy about this, and they were split from what I could tell. But what are your thoughts on this? You tell me the effects you think this has and what their plan was behind a move like that.
Yeah, I think it's a big move, and like Ali said, it's a surprising move from them to put him on blast in that way. But one thing I would say was that this is a team who are thinking in the long term right now. They are committing to their fans. They're trying to make their fans happy, make their fans aware of the situation that's going on, demonstrate that they tried to make a long-term commitment to Kirk Cousins. They're choosing their fans at this point and letting them in on this, and also saving face themselves, I think, over keeping someone like Kirk Cousins happy. he has failed to make a long-term commitment to that team, and therefore they are not making a long-term commitment to him. They're basically saying, okay, you're unwilling to sign a long-term deal, and the reasons for that are going to be debated and likely are a result of Redskins' dysfunction. But equally, they're sort of... Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought there.
No, you were saying how the Redskin fan base, like, the cause of the dysfunction, you kind of like divvy it up and try to, guide it to where you want it to look like what the problem is happening. Like, they're trying to control. It's almost like damage control, it seems like.
Yeah, it's essentially damage control. I think they're trying to sort of show themselves to be in a good light, and they're failing to make a long-term commitment to a guy who's not making a long-term commitment there. So this probably is a drawing of the line in the sand. This is what it is. Kirk Cousins probably is not going to sign long-term there. He's not interested in doing that. And they're not interested in keeping him happy anymore. They feel like they've tried their best. And that is what it is. There's going to be a separation, I would think, at the end of this season. And they are, in my opinion, fully justified in what they've done. There's been leaks. There's been rumours that they weren't offering enough money. Where could that have come from, if probably not from someone in the Kirk Cousins camp? They're perfectly as justified to say to their fans, actually, you know what, guys, set the record straight. We offered him the most guaranteed money of any quarterback in the NFL. We put our cards on the table, but this was his negotiating position. This was ours. We were miles apart. It is what it is. We tried. He tried. I don't think it's about greed, anything like that. I just think, you know what? This is how it's gone down. They're in different places. Yeah.
And not only did they just say, exactly what they offered and when they offered it, they even went as far as saying the Cousins agent hasn't done anything back. Nick, man, give us something on that, man. Like, when you read this kind of thing, what are you thinking when you see it?
Well, to me, it comes to the fact that all the reports that have been coming out, as in Kirk not wanting to be in Washington. I mean, that's pretty much what it seems like it's boiling down to. As the agent, they have a price of what they think he can make. And we all know he's going to get that $25 to $27 million a year. It's just a matter of, is he holding out, like we talked about on the pod? Is he holding out for a fully guaranteed contract? But in my opinion, this basically says that Kirk Cousins no longer wants to be in Washington. And my question to you guys is, does this stir the pot for a midseason trade now, with Bruce Allen coming out like he did and trying to put Kirk Cousins on blast? Is this something that we're going to look into midseason so that they can get something for him? I don't know. To me, it seems like he doesn't want to be in Washington anymore. The agents are going to be pulling for as much as they possibly can, money-wise, as well as getting him somewhere where he wants to be. So
yeah, I mean, there could be. I think at this point, obviously there's rumors about Dan Snyder being vindictive and franchise tagging him to stop him from going to the Shanahan, to Kyle. But yeah, you'd think that they'd want to get some value for it. That seems like the logical option. But equally, I think they've got quite a good side over there in Washington. I think trading Kirk Cousins would essentially write off their season, and I'm not sure they're willing to do that either. So yeah, it makes logical sense in some senses, and it's illogical in others in terms of it's writing off their season. And if they think he can play with this situation, which I think he probably can, because he's got a point to prove. He's still got to prove to 31 teams in the league that he's worth some money. He's worth paying. For them, I think actually, in some respects, it makes sense to keep him around, let him show everyone what he's got, and then if he's happy, then he'll play.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Another thing is, there's going to be a time where you can actually. Somebody's got to mute me and feedback. But another thing is, if there's going to be a time now where you're going to trade him, this is the time. Because everybody's out. The business is out there. It's pretty clear. They have said we tried our best. This is it. I think we all agree on that. So now, why not try to trade him and get something for him? And don't say, if you're going to trade him, then the season you're throwing it away. Yeah, that's possible. But I mean, look, if you trade him and the team doesn't do well, now you're in position to get one of these top 4 quarterbacks that are coming out. So this is the perfect time to do it. What you don't want to do is have a really good season, because if they believed in Colt McCoy, they would have got rid of him already. I don't care how much pride you have. You're still a businessman. You would have got rid of him. You would have let him move on to the San Francisco 49ers with Kyle Shanahan, like everyone was saying before. They don't want to let that happen. They don't want to let that happen. So I think they wanted to win. But now there's no benefit to keeping him. If he goes out and he plays well, he's still going to leave next year. And now you're picking so late in the draft that you have to give up everything for a quarterback again. And what happened last time that happened? It was RG3.
What this speaks to of what Washington has done here is it speaks to that they've had no plan. They didn't sit down. They don't have a GM right now, so they haven't sat down and said, okay, worked out different scenarios. Like, okay, so if this happens, this is the action we need to take. If this happens, this is the action we need to take. They haven't sat down and done that. There is a lot. This speaks to that there's a lot of internal dysfunction in that organization, because if there wasn't, situation like this wouldn't come about. And Kirk Cousins, I don't see him being traded this year. I don't know. I don't know if, actually, you know what? There is still a possibility. I did mention yesterday that there is a possibility. But I think it would have to be before training camp. I don't see a mid-season trade.
Highly likely. But let's talk about the other Spartan for a little bit. Unless you guys, is there someone else that wanted to touch on Kirk Cousins a little bit more?
I'm just gonna. I gotta hop off, but I will. I'll let you guys go at it there.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just really interesting. The whole Kirk Cousins situation, and is this going to cause turmoil with the team now? And that's the only reason I bring up a speculation of a possible trade mid-season is, does he basically, obviously he's going to go out and play like a professional so that he can get, that money next year. But is it going to cause an issue between him, the general manager, and the Redskins organization to for the year to be seen? So it's just something interesting to watch on. But like I said, I still think he plays this year and becomes a free agent next year. But I also think that the amount of money he wants is going to be kind of interesting to see what the 49ers do for that.
Yeah, I agree, man. I wanted to ask you guys, though, about, like I said, the other Spartan, Le'Veon Bell. All right, everyone's talking about this. Carlos Hyde's last year. We need someone who's going to be a little bit more patient, who can find the hole and hit it. That is exactly what Le'Veon Bell does. Is there somebody the 49ers should be licking their chops and pursuing following this season? Scott, I would love to get your thoughts on this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I think if the 49ers are going to pursue anyone in free agency next year, it should be Le'Veon Bell, because he's 25 years old. One of the reasons that the Steelers probably haven't tried to sign him is the disciplinary record. He's got himself banned a couple of times, and although he's never sort of had the full weight of the NFL sort of drugs process and bans in behind those sort of bans that he managed to land himself with, he still has been banned, which I think will obviously play on the Steelers' mind. And there was a great article on, I think it was Pro Football Talk earlier today, kind of outlining why the Steelers sort of, with the way they work contracts, means that it's highly unlikely that they're going to sign Bell to a long-term deal. The way they front load the guaranteed money, and would essentially be offering him kind of 25, 26 million guaranteed over the course of the contract, and that would all be in year one. Now, for me, I think players like Le'Veon Bell, the best players of their position in the league, are exactly the kind of guys who you offer a fully guaranteed contract to. And if I'm San Francisco, I would seriously be considering, seeing as they have the space, to look at offering him like a sort of a league leading, for running backs, kind of three-year, 28 mil, 30 mil guaranteed contract. Because that way you sign him, you have him, he'll turn 26 as a 49er, or he'll have just turned 26 before he's a 49er. He'll turn 27, he'll turn 28. You have 3 fully guaranteed years of Le'Veon Bell, and you set the market and you say, you know what, we'll give you that. We have faith in you doing that. he'll respect the fact that you went out and made him the man. You made him the first guaranteed contract in the NFL. He'll know you want him. And I think that's the kind of organization transforming player that the 49ers need, and can really set a tone for John Lynch. I almost said Scott McClellan there. For John Lynch, for Kyle Shanahan, and for those guys around there, and for the fans. Can you imagine the excitement if Le'Veon Bell was in the backfield? I don't care who you have as your QB. If you have Le'Veon Bell, stuff's going to be rolling for you.
Absolutely. I mean, holy smokes, man. You're getting me hyped just talking about this, man. I mean, I'm going to be heartbroken if Carlos Hyde walks. But, man, will I get over it if Le'Veon Bell is a replacement. Like, it's not a knock on Carlos Hyde. I wish we could get them both, but odds are you're not going to get both of those guys. It's going to be one or the other, and I think everybody here would go with Le'Veon. What are your thoughts on that, Nick? I mean, how do you feel about him?
Man, I'd be super pumped with Le'Veon coming over here because, like you said, he is one of the most patient runners in any type of offense, and patience is key to being a great running back. So he knows how to be patient behind the line of scrimmage. Puts his hands on linemen, finds a hole, and explodes through it. So he's a great pass catcher as well. He does it all. So Le'Veon Bell is definitely, he would be nothing against Hyde. I love Hyde to death, but he would definitely be an upgrade for this Kyle Shanahan type offense, as well as for our backfield. So I would be super pumped. And like I said, I'd be a little sad that Carlos Hyde is going because I think Carlos Hyde is going to fit this scheme perfectly and going to have a big year. As long as he can stay healthy. But, man, that's Le'Veon Bell. We can't even put them in the same category right now. So, definitely.
Yeah, and the other thing is what Scott threw in there. I know we discussed this previously about a fully guaranteed contract for Kirk Cousins or what the numbers would be. But that's something else. Like, you're absolutely right. He's extremely young. It's not often that a talent like that is also a free agent at the same time they're this young. And just think, the numbers that you're saying is after they franchise tagged him for a year. He technically should have been a free agent this year, but whatever happened, what transpired is what it was. He's going to be extremely young, still extremely valuable, barring any major injuries. And if that doesn't happen, he can keep his head clean, his nose clean, and stay healthy. Absolutely, I would be on board with giving him the first fully guaranteed contract. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I just think it's the way to get ahead at this point. There are a few ways that teams can make themselves more attractive to players. It's not like soccer or even sort of in some aspects basketball where you can just outbid guys. You can just outbid people to the top almost. You have to find alternative ways. And I think actually in terms of outbidding people, you can do that with a guaranteed contract. If you turn around and say, you know what, we have so much faith in you as a player at this organization, we're going to fully guarantee your contract. And they're going to be shorter. We said this on the pod. They're not going to be the reported fee that you see from. You're not going to see like a £150 million contract reported ever, because no one's ever going to do that. But the guarantees are going to be there, and I think the players will respect that, and the players will want that themselves.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Scott. Just one quick thing. One of our fans was saying, his name's Shotgun Rain 549. He was saying both former Spartans and Shanahan's offense would be too good. So,
the other thing with that is we can afford them both. If the Niners truly wanted to go out and get Cousins and Le'Veon Bell, they could actually do it. I mean, it's not like they would be breaking the bank. There's going to be plenty of cap space. There's going to be plenty of rollover. The Niners are in a well position right now. And I was thinking about something that Tony said on the podcast with Benjamin Albright, and that was he said he would actually wait it out and pick him up instead of going and trying to get a trade for him or getting a young guy in the first round. One, you already know what he can do. You know he can handle the NFL. And then the other thing was you keep all of those draft picks. Imagine the team you can build around Kirk Cousins and Le'Veon Bell if you keep all of those draft picks. So we have the first round pick, 2 second round picks, 2 third round picks. I mean, all of a sudden this team goes from 0 to 60 real quick. I mean, it's a lot to think about, I know, but it's really exciting too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be crazy. If you could sign them both, which personally I don't think you can. I think although we have the money, I don't think you could sign Bell and Cousins just because I think Bell would have probably, for me, you could get on a guaranteed contract or mega money, or alternatively Cousins, you're going to have to pay a load for. So I think it's going to be one or the other. Either way, though, I'm not in favor of trading for Kirk Cousins. Like, even if you said, yeah, we can only get Bell or Cousins, I wouldn't trade for him, because I absolutely agree. Even if you just get one of them, especially Bell, the players you can build around him, the team you can build around him with those draft picks, with the amount of high quality draft picks you have in that draft, that's for me is the only way forward. Is you retain your draft picks in this scenario, because I think it would take a first or second round pick to get him away from Washington. That's what they'd probably be looking for. If you get a player with a 5th or 6th or 7th round pick, for me, yeah, trade that pick, get the player if you think he's a starter. But at this point, no, I don't think you trade for Kirk Cousins.
All right. I mean, I think that's it. Nick, I don't know if there's any thoughts that you wanted to add. I mean, that is the latest of the saga. 4 p.m. Eastern has rolled around. 1 o'clock if you're on the West Coast, and the time came and the time went. No one signed their big contracts, and they're going to play under the tag this year. It's going to be a very interesting year. A lot of people are going to be hoping that those two guys stay healthy and hope to be in play for them on the market next season. There's no way, I repeat, there is no way that Kirk Cousins is going to get tagged again. They don't want to pay him $34 million under the franchise tag. And if they transition tag him and he goes somewhere else because they don't want to match the offer, then they don't get the compensatory pick. And if they were going to match an offer in the first place, they should have done everything in their power to lock him up this year. So I just don't see how it's possible that Kirk Cousins will return to the Redskins this season. Le'Veon Bell, on the other hand, he could actually be tagged again. It wouldn't break the bank to get him there, but I just don't think that's something that the Steelers would do, like Scott previously said. Nick, is there anything you wanted to add, man? I'm done.
No, man, I'm definitely good too. But if you guys want to hear a little bit further into this, just make sure you visit Scott's sayings on nothingbutniners.com. He's going to have an article posted on this. So if you want to give a little bit of info on that article and where it can be found, Scott, and that'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, the article is going to go up probably 20-25 minutes. It's going to be on nothingbutniners.com. Check it out. It's going to be on our Twitter at nothingbut9ers. It will go probably on our Facebook, which is just Nothing But Niners. And I'll be tweeting about it at _SC0TT_. And I'm sure Mike and Nick will also be tweeting about it. And if you haven't given those guys a follow, give them a follow, because it's also all on there too. And I don't know their Twitter handles, but they do, so I'm sure they can tell you them right now.
My Twitter handle is 49ersMike_NF.
And you can follow me at 49er Faithful 365. That's it for today, guys, man. Thanks for joining in if you were watching live. And also be sure to check out that article on nothingbutniners.com brought to you by Scott, as well as Nothing But 9ERS on Twitter, Nothing But Niners on Facebook, Nothing But 9ERS on Snapchat. We can also be found on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, all those above platforms. You know it, because we're coming at you everywhere that we possibly can, because Nothing But Niners is on the rise. And if you ain't following us, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube as well as follow us all on our personal accounts and the Nothing But Niners personal account, because if you're not, you're missing out. But above all else, stay faithful. We out.